Heavyweight boxing fans, what's the deal? All right, man. So I want to talk about what I saw last night with Usyk and Witherspoon. Also go over Cassius Chaney, his victory over Santana Silgado. Well, I'll just start with Cassius. Another first round KO for him. Um, Thing is, though, there's no footage, man. I've been trying to look for footage of the fight, couldn't find any, man. But from what I'm hearing, it was a brutal first round KO for Chaney. His second quick KO, his last fight against Joel Cotto. Seen that fight. He ended that one crushing first round KO. So two quick KOs. This is something that fans would like to see, even fans that don't know of him. There's one thing you can do as a heavyweight to help your profile. That is to go in there and knock people the hell out. Okay, even if you're a guy that likes to see the sweet side to the sport, you want to see guys stick and move and all that type of thing. At the end of the day, when it comes to heavyweights, we do want to see people laid out on their back, whether that's face first, supine, or prone. You know what I mean? Face first or looking up at the lights. All right. Um, got a chance to chop it up with Cassius on text message yesterday, and I was asking him, who are some of the guys that he would want to fight. Uh, and he brought up the Fury boys. You know what I mean? He brought up Tyson Fury and Huey Fury, and he also brought up George Arias. All right. The Arias fight, I think that'd be a good fight. Two up and coming guys, trying to break through into contender status. So I wouldn't mind seeing Chaney fight Arias. As far as of the Fury boys, that's interesting because Cassius has spent a lot of time with the Furies. He helped Tyson Fury for that first or for the fight against Klitschko. He was a part of that camp. I know they had Nick Asbury in that camp as well. Huey Fury was there, but he actually helped out in that camp a lot. And the rest. Tyson Fury went on to defeat Vladimir Klitschko. All right. So Chaney has been in quite a few good camps. I think he's even been in the Klitschko camp a time or two. But he's familiar with the Furies, man, and he's ready to take that challenge, fight either one of those guys. Him and Huey be a good fight as well. Um, then you look at the performance that Otto Wallen was able to have against Tyson Fury. There's a lot of people they wanted to fight on even before that, but there's a lot of fighters out here, man, licking their chops right now, wanting to get in there with Tyson Fury. All right, because if you were to ask me pre Wallen versus Fury, who I think would have won a fight between Wallen versus Cassius Chaney, I think it's up in the air. You can possibly favor Chaney. You know what I mean? I actually probably would have favored him against Otto Wallen. You know what I mean? But Wallen is somebody that's grown to, get my respect after the Fury fight. Because shit, 2 years ago, if you'd asked me who was the best Swedish heavyweight prospect, I would have probably told you Adrian Granat. You know what I mean? But Wallen went on to defeat Adrian Granat in the fight, so I was wrong about that. You know what I mean? So, um, yeah, man, that's what Chaney told me. Tyson Fury, Huey Fury, George Arias. I would also throw in there a guy like Jermaine Franklin. Jermaine Franklin, he actually picked up a victory last week against who was the guy he fought? Pavel Sauer. That's another fight I did not get to see, but I know he won a decision victory. Franklin, uh, last few fights, Craig Lewis, who else did he fight? Rydell Booker and Jerry Forrest. Now, on paper, you may look at those guys and say, who, what? But if you really dig deep, though, man, for a prospect to come up and fight those guys, those are difficult fights. You know what I mean? To see where your guys at. Now, if you look at their record, yes, they all have lost before, but still a challenge, still some guys that'll take you the full 6, 8 rounds, however long this fight's scheduled for. You guys know how I feel about those type of guys that are labeled as journeymen when they fight prospects. They'll give your prospects some hell, man. So at least he's not losing those fights, right? The Jerry Forrest fight, though, man, debatable. That was a debatable fight against Forrest. Even a Rydell Booker fight, man. So Franklin has had, he's been in there against some experienced guys, man. So I wouldn't mind seeing him fight Cassius Chaney. I think that'd be another good one. Trey Lippy Morrison is another fight I wouldn't mind seeing Cassius Chaney take. All right, but he's told me after the summer or during the around the summertime he should be ready for something. You know what I mean? Something of significance, and hopefully that comes true because we all want to see Chaney in there with somebody like that, man, and see what happens. All right. Let's see who's in the building so far. Mike Wilkins, what's good? Jay Jerk, what's up, man? Oh, Jay Jerk says, listen to me before church. All right, before good old church. Okay, well, let me get this in and out. You know what I mean? Get this information in there. So, Usyk versus Witherspoon. All right. First round, I actually gave it to Witherspoon. Now, if you want to say that Usyk was just stand on the outside to kind of process, what Witherspoon was all about. Probably not necessarily. I'm not gonna say taste his power as far as, hey, hit me and me see how hard see how hard you punch, but kind of just putting that high guard up just to shield himself, and then probably took a shot here or there just to gauge what he's in there with. Okay, if you want to say that Witherspoon was keeping him at bay with his jab, and he didn't land a nice overhand. He landed some nice little shots on Usyk the first round. I remember one was an overhand right. It was like in the middle of a little quick exchange. Um, but I gave Witherspoon that first round. Then after that was all Usyk. And not to, anoint myself some type of prophet, man, but this fight, if you listen to my uh the last live I did talking about this fight, this went exactly how I thought it would go. I said the first couple, so I was kind of wrong about that. I guess it was the first round. Will be interesting because Usyk's in there at heavyweight, although he fought at super heavyweight, which is heavyweight at the amateurs. This is his first heavyweight fight against a guy 240 plus pounds. Although this was Witherspoon's career high, and he's been fighting sporadically since 2012. He's had some fights here and there against journeyman level guys. His last notable fight was 2012, I believe, against Seth Mitchell. You know what I mean? So came in his career high. He's staring at 40 years old in a couple years here, a year or so here, and he's been fighting sporadically. And he took the fight on 4 days' notice. You know what I mean? So with that said, though, after the first round, I knew that, or after what I suggested was, and it happened, was the first couple rounds, which was just the first in this case, but it'd be like how it was. He'll be filling them out and may lose the round. And I thought that Witherspoon would have to come forward, pump his jab, and move Usyk back. And then after that, I pretty much said that he would pepper Chaz Witherspoon. Witherspoon was too slow on offense and defense. He's too slow to let punches go that will have any effect on Usyk. And defensively, the way he would respond was put up the high guard and wait until a perfect opportunity to come out of the high guard to land a shot. And when he would try that, Usyk wouldn't be there. He'll keep peppering him and frustrating him. And then eventually Witherspoon would put up the high guard, shield himself, go back, probably wouldn't get dropped or knocked out, but probably stopped on his feet, or his corner would wave the white flag, and he will get peppered and lit up because he just can't defend, and on top of already being slow, and he'll just be a sitting duck. And that's exactly what happened. You know what I mean? That's exact to the T. That's what happened. All right. Now, Usyk did a great job of throwing straight punches, moving in and out, peppering them, making them miss. And that's pretty much what happened. Made him say uncle, beat him up. You know what I mean? He practically just beat him up. It went exactly how a lot of us thought. What I'll say is this, though, man. I said, now, this is getting kind of redundant for me because I've said this over the last 4 years, even when he was still a cruiserweight, that one day Usyk will be at heavyweight and he will make some noise, and I think he'll beat some, not all, not the very best, but he will beat some of the top heavyweights. I said that 4 years ago. I still feel the same. Now, with that said, though, it's going to be curious. Now, let's not even talk about Fury and the Wilders, and it's going to be interesting to see, man, how he just deals with pressure guys. Because when Witherspoon was putting a little bit of pressure on him, Usyk put up the high guard and moved. And Usyk, to me, isn't a guy, when I say back foot, I don't mean the Larry Holmes back foot, when you're literally moving, or the Ali, especially in his Cassius Clay days, when you're moving, like literally moving and sticking a jab out simultaneously as your feet are moving around. He's not really that guy. He's I'm going to move back, move out at an angle, and then pepper you with shots where my feet are set, and then move. He's that type of mover where he's moving for defensive purposes, not moving to let my offense go while I'm on defense. I don't really see him. Now, I mean off the back foot, because sometimes he does come forward while he's moving his head. Moving your head is defense. Then he'll let punches go and circle off at angles sometimes, all right? But I'm talking about as you're literally moving around the ring. He doesn't do that. So with that said, is I want to see how he deals with pressure guys, man. A guy like an Adam Kownacki, a guy like an Oscar Rivas. And I'll just watch my man Cali Enigma. Shouts out to him and his channel. Go subscribe to him. They were bringing up Chisora, and I said, hey, man, I still think he has a good chance of beating a guy like Chisora. Chisora's getting ready to fight David Price towards the end of this month. Make sure you check that fight out. But because I've seen a guy like Ajay Caballel pretty much outbox, move, do that to Chisora. Now you can argue that Chisora wasn't in shape for that fight. Okay, that's fine. He was still hard for him to deal with that on that night. You know what I mean? And it was a close fight. Some people thought Chisora actually beat Cabello, but the official result was a win by Cabello. And what he did well in the fight was stick and move. That's exactly what Usyk wants to do. Um, so I still think he has a shot, but I want to see how he does when you're trying to pepper them, or even when you are peppering them, they're just eating that shit like M&Ms, and they're going to keep coming forward relentlessly. Like I don't see any of that stopping Kaunowski from coming forward now, especially early. Now, hey, if it goes in around 8, 9, and 10, he may start getting tired, and those shots that he's getting peppered with may start to take effect, but especially early. I see him just eating that shit, man. And you may say, well, Charles Martin was able, yeah, but Charles Martin is also 6'5", 245 pounds, and has heavy hands, and he's in his prime. Whatever you think about him, whatever you thought about him versus AJ, that's fine. But I'm just telling you what I see and what we've seen recently from Martin, because he fought with a lot of heart in that Kaunowski fight. All right, or even a guy like guys that can match Usyk's athleticism as far as moving and that are just athletic as him, that has heavy hands that are bigger than him. How would he deal with a Gerald Washington? I'm not saying he will lose to these guys. I'm just saying though, man, I think there's a lot of questions to be answered here with Usyk at heavyweight, because I don't think him peppering guys is just going to win out all the time. I just don't see it, man. And then how will he react to his body being banged on? You know what I mean? If a guy goes in there and just will throw when he's throwing, they're not going to put the high guard up. And that's a mistake that Gassiev made in their cruiserweight fight. These guys put the high guard up. Even Marco Huck was doing it. Try to put the high guard up, wait for him to get done punching, and then try to locate him and try to land shots, and he's gone. You know what I mean? So pressure guys, they love to try to control the real estate in the ring. So they're going to try to cut the ring off on him, man, and get him against the ropes and make him get into a fight. Okay, we're back. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if he can control the pace of a fight like that, man. You know what I mean? Now, one thing I don't like, one thing that I'm not liking right now is there's a there's a narrative being created. I'm seeing it from fans, seeing it even from some of the articles that are being written. That look, man, I like Usyk, the third fighter in the history of the cruiserweight division to be undisputed. The first was Evander Holyfield, O'Neal Bell, and then Usyk. Usyk's the first in this four-belt era to become cruiserweight champion. All right, he's moving up to heavyweight, gold medals in the Olympics. I like the dude, man, but we're putting a little bit too much sauce on it, man, because the narrative I'm seeing being created is if people are going to be scared of Usyk, and I'm just seeing it, man. Now Usyk came up with some comments saying that Wilder's going to be his easiest fight. Look, you're supposed to say whoever's going to be your easy. You're the fighter, so I like his confidence. So whoever he thinks going to be his easiest opponent out of Fury, Wilder, and AJ, or whoever, I don't mind that talk. I don't mind that talk at all. You're supposed to think you're going to win every fight. Every fight's going to be your easiest fight. I don't mind that talk. But like Eddie Hearn, for example, right now he's a promoter, so he's going to put the sauce on it for his fighters no matter what. That's promoter one-on-one. All right, so that's not just the Eddie Hearn thing, that's a promoter thing. All right, but I heard Hearn say that the winner out of Joshua and Ruiz is going to have a WBO and an IBF mandatory defense. I thought, Mr. Boxer today, I thought that I was already situated that the IBF will be defended first. All right, but I'm guessing the WBO is going to, or from what I'm hearing, the WBO is going to want their fulfillment too. So he was saying that, yeah, I don't see the winner, if it's Ruiz, going after Usyk. They'll probably pull for Pulev. Now you may say, Mr. Boxing, they're just looking at it as who's the easier fight, especially if you're a promoter. You're going to go with the easier mandatory defense. Now, if you want to say it's Pulev, that's fine, but I don't really see how that's like by far the choice. Because I'm not sure who will win a fight between Pulev and Usyk, to tell you the truth. And if people pick Pulev, it wouldn't surprise me. You know what I mean? Let this guy just fight, man. We can't just anoint him like he's going to have people scared and running. Like, you guys, come on, man. Like, stop, man. Stop the shenanigans, man. Just let the guy fight and enjoy him, man. But don't do this, man. And then I'm looking at the WBO. Let's say, for example, that Ruiz or AJ, they win the fight, and let's say the WBO is on that shit where they're like, no, you got to fight the mandatory now, and it's Usyk. And let's say that they do vacate that WBO. What I'm looking at, or what I see by the rankings, the next highest rated guys under Usyk is Fury. Oh shit, I don't have this in front of me, but it's Fury. I want to say Parker, Kaunowski, Spong, and Fa. I think those are the next highest rated available guys. All right. Um, those would be especially the Fury and Parker fight. It'll be good fights. And I've actually said in the past that I think guys who are closer to his dimensions as far as height and reach, I think you'll have a better shot at beating those guys. And Parker was one of the guys that I said that, hey man, Usyk versus Parker would be an interesting fight. My thing is how he's going to deal with guys that will throw with him. And I think Parker has just as fast as hands as Usyk. Usyk is good at, you know, when he throws his straight peppering shots, pretty quick puncher, but I don't, from the eye test, I think Andrew Ruiz punches just as fast or even probably faster than Usyk. Parker's up there as well. How he's going to do it when guys can throw with him and guys that are just literally eating those peppering shots like it's pepper on the damn steak and just keep coming forward and get him going backwards and putting up his high guard. We're going to see. It's going to be interesting. I like the fact that Usyk is at the division, undisputed cruiserweight champion. Usually, when you go undisputed in the weight class below, you usually move up, and so that's just the history of the sport. But I like the fact that Usyk is a heavyweight, is getting us talking. You know what I mean? But I definitely want to see him against not just the Furies and the Wilders and all that, but how he's going to look against the Millers and the Kaunowskis and even the Chisuras and I would favor him against Chisora, but still want to see. Just because I favor you in a fight doesn't mean that I don't want to see it because I'm favoring you. I still want to see it. You know what I mean? So that's pretty much it, man. He went in there, did what he have to do. My thoughts about Usyk are still the same. I knew he was. I even 4 years ago, I didn't say that. Yeah, when he goes to heavyweight, he's gonna be running people over. No, I still have the same thoughts that I've been having even after this fight against Witherspoon. All right. Still think he's gonna make for interesting fights. Still don't think he's gonna be the creme of the division though. That's just my opinion. But let me see what you guys are talking about up here, man. Um, but yeah, this narrative that's being created though, I'm really not feeling it though, man. Like people are gonna be running from Usyk and will such and such accept the challenge from I'm even seeing fans get into the continuity now talking about will Wilder accept the challenge. It's like what you guys talking about, man? Like just watch the dude and just what I mean? Let's just enjoy it, man. All right, let me see what y'all are talking about though, man. Jay Jerk says, nah, bro, take your time. This server's gonna be long. Gonna be long, bro. Y'all know how it is in church, man. Joseph Bacon was good. He says it's 2:30 p.m. here in the UK. Mr. Boxing was good. Shout out to the UK. The expert genius in the building was good, man. Blackout, what it do? Biker Man 690 says what's good, Mr. Boxing. Cheers from Norway. Shout out to Norway. Jarrell Flemings, he says Usyk is food for Wilder, bro. I see him get knocked out even before I didn't even have to see this fight. I just know just based off the styles, man, and putting this into my computer in my head, and then my printout reads Usyk may have some success in the first couple rounds with the moving and looking cute, using the little cutie style and moving a little bit, kind of mimicking some of what Spilka was doing, and then he goes to sleep. That's pretty much it. You know what I mean? So my opinion hasn't changed. Um, but yeah, I agree with that, man. I think he gets knocked out. Let me see here. Jay Jerk says Washington has good ring control as far as controlling the center of the ring, but his work ethic, he gasses, man. Um, yeah, but he finds ways to fight through when he's tired, man. Because I've seen him get a little bit winded against Mansoor. I've seen him get a little bit winded against even the Hellenius fight, even the fight that he had with what's the dude's name? No Fire. You know what I mean? But he was able to pull those victories out. You know what I mean? But if that's one thing against Usyk, man. If you get tired and you can't fight through tired, and you're I'm gonna put the high guard up and try to catch my breath, guy. Usyk will stick and move you to death, man, and you'll end up losing a decision or some shit like that. Jay Jerk says, "Damn, where is Revis?" Well, shit, man. Last I heard, Jay Jerk, he was one of the candidates to fight on short notice when Spong. It was a Spong? No, fuck. He's one of the guys that was on a short list, man. Not for Usyk, but for Chisora. Remember when Hearn came out and says he had a short list of guys? He named 6 of them. Rivas was one of them. David Price ended up getting a fight though. But yeah, so I guess Rivas should be active soon here, man. You know what I mean? I would like to see him. Damn, where's Rivas? Where the hell is this other sample for Dillian White? Where the hell is that? Like that's me and my wife's laughing. That's the $1 million question. Where the fuck is that sample at? Because Spong just came out and they had a whole bunch of samples for him that fast. You know what I mean? With Dillian White, you know what I mean? We need motherfucking Inspector Gadget on the case to figure out what's going on, man. You know what I mean? We need Elliot Ness on the case or something because we don't know where the hell that's at. Let me see here. Jay Jerk says my Gators lost to LSU. Damn, yeah, that's a huge rivalry too, man. I didn't get a chance to watch none of that. Hands of Stone says Usyk didn't perform as well as I thought. Big Nick says Witherspoon posed no problems, although I do see Usyk being possible to hit. Yes, people think, well, a lot of fans think that he does move well, but I've seen this guy get hit, and he will put up the high guard sometime and stand flat-footed. You know what I mean? He's not Pernell Whitaker out there, guys. Like, he does get hit. He has good legs. He does move his head, but it's not like he's unhittable, though. You know, and I think some fans are just thinking, like, this guy doesn't get touched. It's like, yes, he does. I know that's what you want to think, but he does get touched. I've seen it. You know what I mean? And in the heavyweight division, that's all it takes for you to get touched one good time, and you may get that NyQuil treatment. Big Nick says, okay, I read that one. Jay Jerk says, I seen him hit Hunter. I seen him hit in the Hunter fight a lot. Yeah, him and Hunter was going back and forth. You know what I mean? So, and Hunter isn't some, he's kind of unorthodox with the way he punches as well, too. Looping shots and shots from weird angles. You know, he's not your textbook straight down the line puncher. So if he can touch him, there's other guys that can touch him as well. You know what I mean? Jarrell Fleming says, Mr. Boxing, I was thinking about that Larry Holmes analogy before you said it. I agree. My favorite heavyweight ever. Just watched him versus Ernie Shavers. The second fight, Holmes was nasty, crazy good. Yo, Jarrell, me and you are on one accord, man, because my 3 favorite heavyweights, and I know your favorite supposed to be one, but I could never pick between the 3. So they're like 1A, 1B, 1C. My favorite heavyweights of all time is Larry Holmes, Ali, and George Foreman. I'm very biased when it comes to those 3 fighters. They're the best fighters I've ever seen. What about Sugar Ray Robinson? They're the best fighters I ever seen. What about Sugar Ray Leonard? They're the best fighters I ever seen. You know what I mean? So you can bring up any fighter in the history of the sport, they'll never eclipse my 3 favorite fighters. You know what I mean? So shouts out to the Eastern Assassin, man. Okay, Jarrell says I only put Prime Ali over him. Man, I'll be here for hours, bro, debating that, which I'm going to just leave it at that, bro. But yeah, I can see that, you know what I mean? But I'll be here forever comparing those because shit, Larry Holmes, bro, even at his prime. Look, the Cooney fight, literally, especially the first couple rounds, you can debate that I've never seen somebody be able to punch that fast. Like, it almost looks like the TV is cheating for him. When it's like they're playing it at like a quicker speed. That jab was so fast, man. Larry Holmes' jab in that fight, especially the first few rounds, was so damn fast. You know, like back in the day when we used to have the older TVs where like there'll be like a glaze, especially you watch football games, there'll be like a partial glaze from the helmets on the TV. That's what his gloves look like. They look like some shit from outer space, man. Like it was like lasers. You know what I mean? Larry Holmes is fast as hell, man. Felix Nunez, what it do? Big Nick says, Mr. Boxing, do you think it's right Usyk becomes Mando based off what he did at Cruiser when in reality he's had one fight at heavyweight versus Witherspoon? Well, you know, Big Nick, logically what you're saying makes sense, but the WBO has this thing where if you're a champion at one of the divisions, if you move up, you get a mandatory spot. So it's a WBO thing. It's in their rules. It's not so much of, oh, you were undisputed cruiserweight here, you're mandatory. You know what I mean? It's the WBO's rules. You know what I mean? So that's why he'll get a shot that fast at a WBO title. All right. But no, I don't think I will say this though, if you're an undisputed champion at the weight class below and you move up, I do think that you should be in this just based off what you did at that other weight class, you should be discussed at least to get a big fight going into that higher division based off what you, especially undisputed. And undisputed nowadays is rare. You know what I mean? Shout out to Terrence Crawford. He was able to do it as well, but it's rare. Now, if you want to argue it's rare because of promotions and or promoters and that, I mean, yes, that has a lot to do with it as well. But it's just rare. Some guys, they don't really seem like they like or want to unify. You know what I mean? So to go undisputed is rare. Lewis Hidden, what it do? Jarrell Fleming says, I'll be here all day too. He hit Cooney with a shot to the chest, then head, and dropped him. Even the round where he stopped him, hand speed ridiculous. Yeah, man. You know what I mean? And Larry Holmes came up the hard way. Was it nothing gifted to him? None of that shit. He started his career, uh, you know, getting sparring in shit. Him and Ernie Shavers actually sparred way before they fought. You know what I mean? He was getting good sparring with him, was in some Frazier camps, obviously the Ali camps. He had to come up against guys like Roy Williams. A lot of you don't know who Roy Williams is, man, but he had to come up fighting guys like that before Don King would even give him a shot. You know what I mean? He earned everything the hard way. Go look at Larry Holmes when he fought. Oh, this is gonna. Oh man, what was the dude who he fought in the Olympic trials and he beat him, or he got beat? I'm sorry. And the dude's from my state. He's from Minnesota. I can't think of his fucking name. Babe, go on Google real quick and pull up Larry Holmes' resume because it's gonna fucking mess with me. And the dude actually got knocked out against Ken Norton. I can't think of his name, man. My wife's gonna pull it up. I can't think of his name, but even when he lost to that dude, and if you go watch that footage, you can hear Howard Cosell. They were just bombing on Larry Holmes. He'll never amount to nothing. He quit. I mean, he did quit. You know what I mean? But uh, they were just bombing on him, man. Let me see. It was. I gotta look this up, y'all, because it's gonna fuck with me. Who he lost to in the Olympic trials? Hold on, y'all. I gotta look this up. I'm sorry. No, I'm gonna go to Ken Norton's resume because Ken Norton fought him as a pro. I can't believe I'm forgetting this dude's name, man. Hold on, y'all. Bear with me for 1 minute. Still looking. Man, what was that dude's name, man? Hold on. I know y'all like Mr. Boxing. It ain't that serious, but it is, man. Because I have I can visualize the dude. I just forgot his damn name, and he's from Minnesota. Dwayne Bobbick, that was his name, Dwayne Bobbick. But yeah, he lost to Dwayne Bobbick in the Olympic trials, man, and they were just ragging on him. Click Dwayne Bobbick real quick. Yeah, it's from Minnesota. Yeah, yep, Dwayne Bobbick from Little Falls, Minnesota. But yeah, man, let me see what y'all talking about now. BWTM Sports, what's good, man? He says, hey, champ, just joined. Hope all is well with you and this Sunday. Certainly is, man. I caught a little bit of your live BWTM. I see you were going live talking about the fight. I only listened about 2-3 minutes though, man, because I want to hop on here and give my look. Sometimes when it comes to my favorite uploaders, you're one of them. You Blood Boxing 70. I mean, I can go on and on. 78 foot for now. I like to go first with what I think before I listen to you guys. You know what I mean? Because I don't want to. Because I respect you guys' opinion a lot, man. But I like to give mine first, quick. You know what I mean? And then come back and listen to you guys afterwards. If I'm uploading that day, you know what I mean. But if I'm not uploading that day, then I just listen to what y'all say. But want to get my information or just what I thought fresh from just my thoughts alone. You know what I mean? So I have to turn yours off real quick. So I'm like, no, I want to go live. So let me go ahead and cut him off real quick, man. But I'm gonna go back and catch him. Um, Shout out to BW Team of Sports. Y'all go subscribe to him, man. Very, very good channel. One of the only guys that I seen predict Ruiz to beat AJ, and he did it a thorough breakdown, and he made multiple videos before the fight. It wasn't just some sporadic. Ruiz going to beat AJ. He's going to knock him out. You know, he actually broke the shit down, and then it played out to a T. So yeah, flawless. You know what I mean? He's one of the best at breaking down fights. All right, let me see. Let me see here. I'm gonna read a few more, y'all. Then I got some stuff going on, man, with family today. So let me read a few more, and I'm gonna jump off. Jay Jerk says Hagler had it rough too. Yeah, man. A lot of them guys had it rough. They had to climb up from the dirt, man. A lot of these guys, you know, it's one thing when you come into the sport with the gold medal and you got the smile and you're charming everybody and you have a fan friendly type of style and everybody's behind you and you got the support and backup like a Ray Leonard. And Ray Leonard proved to be just a great fighter, you know, regardless of that. But sometimes guys that have to come up the hard way, man. And Hagler, Larry Holmes, guys like that definitely came up the hard way. All right, let me see. Casa calling. He says, "Was Spong?" Let me say. He says, "Was Spong hard done by considering White fought after failing tests and Fury, etc." Uh, I'm not sure, man. You know, it's like that. Those his other tests came out pretty damn quick. I guess that's something that need to be looked into, man. But just based on how these other cases were handled, his is pretty fishy. Now, again, this his shit was here in America though, man. So it's a little bit different here. You know what I mean? So, and another thing that I thought of watching that car yesterday, there were some Ukrainians there, and I know that the state of Illinois is like top six with population of the Ukrainian you know, Ukrainians. Uh, I would think that they would base Usyk's career here in the States over in New York because they have by far the highest population of Ukrainians. So I'm curious to see if Hearn would try to move him to New York. You know what I mean? And it would be crazy. Yo, what would be if it played out like this? Whoever wins the fight between Ruiz and Joshua, whoever wins, even though I'm favoring Ruiz, but whoever wins that fight, right? Let's say they do go the IBF route and give Pulev his shot, and let's say for whatever reason they do vacate the WBO. Yo, if it played out like this, uh, Usyk versus now I told you the next highest rated available guys in the WBO is Fury, Parker, Konowski, and I think Spong and Junior Fa. Let's just say somehow, some way it played out to where it was Konowski versus Usyk. That would do great in New York because the highest population of Polish people is it's either New York or Chicago or Illinois. I think it's New York though, but just yeah, Polish. I think it's New York. Now, with the Ukrainians, the highest population in New York, and then with the Polish, that would be crazy. That crowd would be crazy, man. If it were to play out like that, I think and then just the style matchup as well, because I think Usyk might have some problem against the pressure guys of heavyweights, not just now. Know a lot of users say, well, he handled Gassiev and he's a pressure guy, yeah, but he was putting a high guard up, waiting for perfect opportunities. A guy like Konowski, he's not gonna wait for anything perfect. He's just gonna come forward and eat everything up like Pac-Man. You know what I mean? So if it played out like that, man, I think that'd be interesting. Let me see here. I'm gonna read a few more. Big Nick says,
Yeah, New York.
it is New York.
New
Okay.
York, New Jersey.
Yep, New York, New Jersey area for Polish. So that'd be crazy, man.
Minnesota has a high population of Polish.
Oh, and my state as well, Minnesota. Yeah, there's a lot of Polish. There's Polish areas around here
Yeah, Northeast.
in Northeast Minneapolis. All right, but anyways, let me see here. Big Nick says, how well do you think Dorticos and Gassiev will do at heavyweight? Gassiev has sparred Wilder and Klitschko. Uh, will we get more cruisers moving up, or do you think Wilder, White, AJ Dubois are too big of punchers? And to throw in there as well, Gassiev got a lot of sparring in with Chris Arreola. I've actually heard Chris Arreola, and it's on YouTube, say that Gassiev is the hardest puncher that he sparred with. All right, that was according to Chris. All right. Um, you know, and then you say are guys like Wilder, White, AJ Dubois just too hard of a punchers? Look, man, I think Andrew Ruiz has inspired a lot of people as well too. Just with him coming up or not coming up, but just being able to beat AJ. Although some guys like BWTM were picking him to win, but I still think there are some cruisers looking at that situation like, well, shit, man, if Andrew Ruiz can get it done, I know I can. I give myself a good chance of getting it done. But yeah, man, and not only Dorticos and Gassiev, Michael Hunter is a guy that's moved up from cruiserweight, man. Look, a lot of these guys, Big Nick, don't let them fool you, bro. And you probably know this as well. But a lot of these guys fought at super heavyweight as amateurs. So them, quote, moving up to heavyweight as a pro, they've already kind of done this as amateurs. You know what I mean? Usyk fought at super heavyweight, won tournaments at super heavyweight as an amateur. Hunter was a super heavyweight as an amateur. You know what I mean? So a lot of these guys were already at super heavyweight or at heavyweight, but then turned pro as cruisers. So and then you look at a guy like Wilder, has one of the best right hands that I've seen in the history of the sport, but he isn't a huge as far as his weight. I'm not talking about height and reach, but as far as his weight, he's not some 280-pound monster. Like he's 215 pounds. Shit, the same weight as Usyk was. You know what I mean? I know Wilder has got up in his 220s before, but he's not. He's pretty light. The right hand ain't light. You know what I mean? But he's pretty. So uh, I still think that guys are going to be moving up. Now, how Dorticos does and Gassiev does, I'm not sure. I want to see Gassiev against Dweck. I still want to see that fight. But I guess we'll have to see, man. Renee Saucedo says, good morning from El Paso, Texas. Shouts out to Texas. BWTM says, what is this thing in the water about fighters need to be or need too big before they can compete at heavyweight? I thought skills paid the bills. Then he also says, time and time again, small guys have whipped big guys. It makes me so upset when guys think big muscles with fights at top level. Yeah, I totally agree with that, BWTM. It's not about how it is skills pays the bills. I do agree with that. I think sometimes though in fights, you know what I mean, your skills will still leave you a little bit bankrupt. You know what I mean? Because all it takes is one to get you out of there. But you can never overlook skills, head movement, being able to throw in combination. That to me is a big problem for these big guys. When a smaller guy can get in there and throw in combination, make the fight a faster paced fight when they can control the pace, make you miss, pepper you with shots, being able to move. Sometimes that can tie up some of these heavyweights to where they don't know what to do. Next thing you know, 12 rounds went by and they lost a decision to a guy that they should have steamrolled. You know what I mean? So these guys moving up, I don't think they should be afraid of guys that are quote big punchers or have big muscles because it's not about that. You know what I mean? Look at Andrew Ruiz. You know what I mean? Don't have no definition in his whole damn body. You know what I mean? But can punch fast as hell, can take a punch, and he knows how to fight bigger guys. So it's gonna come down to if you move up, do you know how to fight bigger guys? And like Big Nick brought up, a lot of these guys have been in camps, and Hunter is another guy that's been in. I think Hunter's been in 9 Klitschko camps. You know what I mean? Been in 9 Klitschko camps. Fought a guy like Ustinov and fought some bigger heavyweights. You could argue that Ustinov is longer than the tooth, but he handled them easily. You know what I mean? Fought Martin Bacolia Lunga. Uh, that was entertaining. I'm not gonna say he beat him easily. But that was an entertaining fight, but he got him out of there. You see what I'm saying? But who's the fight that he did lose to? Usyk. You know what I'm saying? Look at Junior Fa. I asked Junior Fa, did an interview with Junior Fa. He's fought Parker 4 times in the amateurs. I asked Junior Fa who was the toughest fight he's ever had. He couldn't even let me get the question all the way out. He said Usyk by far when he fought him in the World Series of Boxing. And Junior Fa is 6'6", 270 pounds. You dig what I'm saying? So styles make fights, man. Scrapbook Boxing, you guys, please go subscribe to BWTM Sports, and please go subscribe to my man Scrapbook Boxing. As far as history, and I'm not talking about the 70s and 80s. I'm talking about he goes way back, man, 30s, 20s. Please go to Scrapbook Boxing, man. Go visit. I can't give out enough information to justify why you should go to his channel. Just go check it out, and you'll see for yourself. Let me see here. I'm gonna answer a few more, y'all. Then I promise I got to jump off. Let me see. The Celtic. He says missed a lot of this, man. We'll have to check it out later. Big up, Mr. Boxing Day. Yeah, man. Check me out on the archive, bro. Jarrell Fleming says, real quick, fantasy fight, Wilder versus Ken Norton. I'm going with Wilder because Norton always had trouble with power punches. Quick. That was a quick one. That's probably the quickest fantasy fight I've answered, man. Yeah, I'm going to go with Wilder, man, just based on Norton having problems with power punches. Now, if it was a guy that likes that, now, if you said Tyson Fury or something, or a guy that likes to just outbox a little bit and isn't known to be a devastating puncher, I'll give Fury more of a chance. Or Fury. Norton more of a chance. But big time power punchers, I'm going with the power puncher. Let me see. James Dag says, do you think Wilder's weight correlates to his KO power? You know what, my man, shout out to my man Vince, Body Snatcher Returns, Vince Camper. He brought this up, man, because we were both talking about his weight and his, how he generates a lot of power. His upper body, if you look at his back, Wilder has a big ass back, man. Um, I think his power just comes, and then just the torque he gets on his punches, and just being God, you can't teach that, man. The dude's just gifted with a right hand from hell, man. But his back, though, man, he has a big, wide, like the top of his back is wide. His shoulders is muscular and it's wide as hell, man. Um, and then the way how quick he gets it off, because sometimes that right hand, it's a long right hand, but he lets it go. If you look at a lot of his KOs with his right hand, it's quick punches, quick. Like the one against Spilka, that shit just came out of nowhere, very fast. It hits his target very quickly. Um, Turns his hip well into his punches too. Even though he's off balance when he throws his shots, a lot of the times he can turn his hips. Even off balance, his hips still turn. You know what I mean? So um, he can get, so maybe him being a lighter guy, he gets the punches off quicker, and then him having his upper body and his, like I said, his back is very muscular. So maybe that, and then just being God gifted, you know what I mean? It all can play a role in my opinion. Big Nick says, Mr. Boxing, why do you think the big heavyweights have lost the desire to throw combos and just stick to 1-2? What happened to threes and fours? If it's only Ruiz that punches and combos. Parker can do it when he wants to. I've seen him do it. But yeah, man, like I said this a long time ago, man. The days of guys like and some of you may say, oh, that guy's a bum, but or not you guys, but guys are gonna listen to this on archive. When I bring these guys up, they're gonna say, "Oh, he's not better than Tyson Fury," but they're not listening to me. But the days of throwing in combinations like Michael Dokes and Greg Page and Larry Holmes and Ali, even young Mike Tyson, whether you're throwing big power shots and combinations or you're just trying to work from the outside throwing shots, guys like even a guy like damn, I just watched damn, what's the dude's name, man? I hate when I do. I can see these guys in my head. I've seen them fight a million times, but their names just slip my mind, man. I hate this, but anyways, he threw in combinations as well. TNT. What was his damn name though? He fought Mike Tyson in Japan. He got Riddick Bowe. He fought Riddick Bowe before Bowe fought Holyfield. It doesn't matter, man. But guys know what I'm getting at, man. Guys are throwing combinations. It's the lost art. You know what I mean? The shit's a lost art. And I think that Klitschko, Tony Tucker, well, no, not Tony, no, Tony Tubbs was the guy that threw in great combinations as well. But anyways, what was I getting at? Oh, let me go back to that. Yeah, kids. So threes and fours. Yeah, Ruiz throws in threes and fours in combination. He works the body. But I think the Klitschko era kind of made guys fight in that manner and seeing them have success at doing it. I love Vitaly Klitschko. I think he's actually better than Vladimir. But Vitaly is actually my 10th favorite heavyweight of all time. I think he's number 10. I got him at number 10. We can argue about that. All right, but that's a different topic. All right, but I think when they started that jab, peck away with the jab, come with the right hand, move around, clinch, hold you. I think they started that, and it has success. I'm not saying they started in a bad way, but I think them having success and having longevity doing it, it made some of these other guys that were 17 and 16 years old coming up watching these guys dominate for 12, 10, 12 years. I think they say, damn, you know what? I'm 6'6", 6'7", 240 pounds. I'm going to use that style. Shit, it's working. You know what I mean? Why should I give up my height and fight you on the inside like Riddick Bowe used to when I can just wrap you up, grab you? I'm not going to fight like that. I'm going to just wrap you up, grab you. Ref breaks us, stick back to the jab and the hard one too. So I think the Klitschko's had a lot to do with that. Whether you want to say that's a positive or negative, hey, that's up for debate. But I think they started that, especially with this era of guys. And a lot of these, like I said, these guys look up to the Klitschko's, man. So they took some of that from them. BWTM Sports says we'll be talking to Vlad Sarenko today. Yeah, man. Was Vlad's fight, was it this week or is it coming up this month? But I know he has a fight coming because I talked about it. I just forget the damn date. But I want to see how Vlad does, man, without having Bashir in his corner, man. And how was Bashir doing, BWTM Ingram? How was Bashir doing, man, after that bullshit that happened to him? I expect Sarenko to win this fight because I'm sure it's a journeyman level guy. But sometimes you never know. I just want to see how he carries out in that fight. But I guess, hey, you're doing an interview with him, so I guess we will see, or you'll be talking to him. So I guess we'll, I want to hear his thoughts about what happened with Bashir, man. Jarrell Fleming says skinny dudes always hit hard. Wilder got that Bob Foster lineage. Yeah, and you can throw Tommy Hearns in there. Foster's one of the hardest punchers of light heavyweight I've ever seen. He had his troubles when he moved up and fought guys like Frazier and Ali. But he actually beat some heavyweights too, though. But he just couldn't beat the creme de la creme. Yeah, they get that torque, man. You just gifted with shit like that, man. You know what I mean? But yeah, he's come from that school of Ball Foster and Tommy Hearns. I've said that many a times, but we're on one accord with that, Jarrell. James Dag says Wilder was 224 for the Brazil fight. Yeah, like I said, I know he's been in his 220s before, you know what I mean? But then I've seen him in his 215s and still knock people the fuck out. You know what I'm saying? Big Nick says, I think Wilder's power comes from his speed. He seems to punch through the target, whereas his left hand is nowhere near as powerful. Yeah, he's the type of dude, he doesn't punch at you, he punches through you. He literally delivers that punch and turns his body into it like he's literally like a cartoon trying to punch through you. James Ross says Wilder reminds me of okay, somebody bring up Tommy Hearns. Yeah, he's like a unpolished as far as technical boxing skills go. He's like an unpolished version of Tommy Hearns. Because Hearns is one of the, as far as having a textbook skill set, he had that to go along with crazy power, ridiculous jab. Tommy Hearns, if you guys know, is my favorite non-heavyweight of all time. Mr. Boxing, what about Ray Robinson? Tommy Hearns is my favorite non-heavyweight of all time. Mr. Boxing, what about Willie Pep? Tommy Hearns is my favorite non-heavyweight of all time. BWTM Sports says the combo punch has been reduced due to manual. Hey, me and BWTM was on one accord. Who trained Vladimir Klitschko? Emmanuel Stewart. He implemented that style. He imputed that style into Vladimir Klitschko. Don't give up your height. Grab, jab, use the 1, 2, 3. So you said it in a different way, but we're on one accord, man. We're in concert with that. You know what I mean? BWTM says he believed the jab right hand was safer and less. Hey, we're pretty much saying the same thing, man. Hey, these comments at BWTM, first of all, let me give BWTM a damn wrench. That's first off. This is why you should listen to him. Listen to the stuff he's saying in the chat right now. This is why you need to go subscribe to him. He says Joshua KO loss started because he was combo punching, leaving himself open to get KO'd. Ain't that funny? We talk about combo punching, and then when a guy does it, he gets knocked the hell out. That's because Ruiz is a faster puncher and a very good counter puncher, and his punches get there quicker than Anthony Joshua, especially when they're trying to exchange. You know what I mean? And I see a lot, not you BWTM, but I see a lot of fans say things like Anthony Joshua got overzealous and tried to finish him quick. That's what he does. He's a finisher. He's got in a situation where he didn't get sloppy. No, he just tried to do what he always does, finish you. Don't get fooled by Anthony Joshua's 6'6" height, over 80-inch reach thing. Mentally, he's a come forward fighter. Who's his favorite fighter of all time? Mike Tyson. What does Joshua like to do? Put up the high guard, bob, weave, come forward. He has the mind of a come forward guy, Finisher. He's not Larry Holmes. He's not bouncing off the back foot, peppering you with jabs, and that's not him. Can he do it sporadically here and there in fights for 17 seconds at a time? Yeah, but it's not who he is. He got caught being who he is, a finisher. Just want to throw that in there. BWTM says that's why they reduce it to 1-2 punches and don't go to the body. Yep. Big Nick says I think it's AJ's biggest problem. He's 6'6", but he wants to fight. Man, you guys are saying exactly what I'm saying, man. Good. Hey, man, it's good to see. Not that we have to agree about everything, but when it comes to styles, man, I like when people are on one accord, man, with me because uh, I think I know what the hell I'm talking about. You know what I mean? And we could take the fanboyism out of shit and just really go off their styles, man. And that's his style. You're right, Big Nick. He does fight like a shorter guy. He's naturally aggressive. You're right. You're right. D-Jack 420 was good. He says they are much bigger than the past era. Yeah, but just because you're much bigger don't mean you can't let your hands go. Andrew Ruiz is much bigger than now. Okay, again, let me go back to this. Much bigger. What height or weight, or do you mean both? Because this era isn't the only era of 6'5", 240. You know what I mean? Tony Tucker was a big, tall dude. James Bone Crusher Smith was big and tall. Jerry Cooney was a big, tall guy. You dig what I'm saying? We go on and on. Now, are there more taller, bigger? Yes, of course. But that don't mean so. What? So what are you saying? Because to me, it's like this. We can't have it both ways. We can't say guys are bigger, stronger, faster, better athletes. Well, if they're bigger, stronger, better athletes, shouldn't they be able to? Well, in that case, they should be able to throw in 9 punch combinations. Why? Because they're bigger, stronger, faster athletes, right? Or is that wrong? Or are they slower? Or are they bigger, stronger, and slower? Can't have it both ways. We can't say they're better athletes, but then they can't produce what the athletes of yesteryear were able to do. You get what I'm saying? So to me, it's a lost art. It's just a lost art. I think guys are just looking for the home runs, and they seen the success that the Klitschko brothers were able to have. These guys, a lot of these guys were teenagers and kids when they were watching the Klitschkos, so they're coming up off what they saw. It was just like when Ali was Cassius Clay and he was doing his thing. What do you think? Who do you think Michael Dokes looked up to? Who do you think James Tillis looked up to? Who do you think Larry Holmes looked up to? Who do you think Tyrell Biggs looked up to? Who do you think Greg Page looked up to? All these guys looked up to that. They looked up to Ali. So in just they start punching in combinations, moving off the back foot. It's a generational thing, man. They all do it. You dig what I'm saying? Not every single fighter, but majority of the style is going to be like the guys who were looked up to, the guys who were the creme of the division. You get what I'm saying? So just like now, fast forward, a lot of these guys looked up to the Klitschko's. Then D-Jack, he quickly responds. He says both, but they not as durable though. Let me go up here. Let me see. BWTM says he won by KO first round. Bash is on the men. Damn. Okay, so shout out to Vlad Serenko. He won first round KO. I knew it would be easy work. Unbiased heavyweight rankings and news was good. He says he has Usyk number 12 based on his resume at heavyweight right now. Y'all go check out my man Unbiased heavyweight rankings and news. James Dag says Wilder was 228 for the Spilka fight. Yep, James, like I said, bro, I know Wilder's been in his 220s before, and I brought that up. But I know he's also fought in his teens, his 215s and all that as well. I believe the first. How much did he weigh for the first Ortiz fight? Was he in the teens for that one? Yotundi Kilji says Wilder will have a lot of problems against Usyk. He will constantly fall off balance whenever he tries to land on Usyk. I can see Wilder getting desperate and go for the gusto in the fight. Well, depends what type of Wilder shows up. If it's the Wilder that's going to use his jab and patiently wait, maybe he make Usyk into the aggressor. And Usyk's going to happen. If Usyk, to me, Usyk is at his best when he can plant his feet, come forward, plant his feet, not turn into Joe Frazier, but just plant his feet. When he's coming forward, land shots, then he likes to pivot out the way, turn and pivot you, move a little bit while he's moving his head. If you come forward against Wilder, you're going to be in some danger. I don't care who you are. You're going to be in danger of getting punched in the face with that right hand. All right. So if he does that, he's going to be in danger. If he's on the outside and he believes in his head that, hey, I'm far enough on the outside, you can't hit me, pop. Wilder can literally throw that right hand from across the ring. He's going to have to be careful, man. Now, do I think he can win some rounds against Wilder? Yeah. I've seen Spilka do it from the southpaw, darting in and out. Yeah, I think he'll win some rounds. He's eventually going to get hit. There's no way in the world he's going to stay away from just not getting hit. He's going to get hit. It's just how he reacts after he gets hit. He's going to get hit. If Michael Hunter can hit him, Marco Huck can hit him, Wilder's going to definitely hit him. Now, as far as Wilder falling off balance, yeah, I can see. I've seen Wilder fall off balance in pretty much all his fights. So that's like that. That's not like a Usyk thing. That's just a Wilder. He falls off balance. But I've seen him be on balance and use his jab and be patient. And for Wilder to have a high KO percentage, you would think that he's just this aggressive, come forward, caveman. No, he actually takes his time. And his power is from round 1 to round 12. His power is not going to fade. So Usyk's going to have to fight damn near a perfect fight if he doesn't want to get hit. You dig what I'm saying? So when you say struggle, I guess he'll have some moments here and there where it's like, damn, but I see him knocking Usyk out. Do I think Usyk can win some rounds? Yeah. Then he's going to sleep. GG, what's good, man? D-Jack 420 says, but the time they get hit, or about time they get hit with the two, they're done. Yeah, in some cases, about time dudes get hit with a two-piece, they are going to sleep. I've seen dudes get hit with a two-piece and, you know what I mean, they find a nice soft spot on the canvas like it's a Motel 6 and they, take a nap. But I've also seen dudes get hit with two pieces and not go down. Look at Dillian White and Chisora. Them motherfuckers throwing 2, 3, 4. They were just playing rock'em sock'em. You know what I mean? Dillian White and Derek Chisora. So I guess we'll just see, man. But I do think the art of throwing a combination of heavyweight is a lost art, regardless of the reason. James Ross says that dude won't last 2 rounds with Wilder. I disagree with that. I get what you're saying. He's going to get knocked out, but I think he does last more than 2 rounds, though. I mean, if Spilka can last deep, and I keep bringing Spilka up because they're close in dimension and size, and they kind of like to do the same things. And I think Usyk is a better fighter than Spilka. You know what I mean? Now you can say that Wilder has got a little bit more polish since then. But I think Wilder's just, is who he is. You know what I mean? But you can never bank on whose chin is as strong and as durable as the other guy. You know what I mean? But I definitely think that he gets knocked out. It's just when. Roughhouse Boxing TV in the building was good. Hold on. He says, I expect the Wilder that boxed Stavern in their first fight, sticking the jab and working off of until Stormbreaker is unleashed. He got a nickname for the right hand. Yeah, man, the Alabama Slammer, whatever you want to call it, man. But yeah, when that shit's unleashed, man, I know a lot of people, they always say, Mr. Boxing, you're just a Wilder fanboy. You're just this and that about his right. Look, man, I've watched a lot of heavyweights, y'all. Not just from the last 10 years, but you guys know how I am with the history, man. I've seen Sonny Liston punch dudes in the face. I've seen clips of highlights of Jack Johnson punching dudes. I've seen Ernie Shavers. I've seen Mike Tyson, George Foreman. I've seen them, man. You have to put him in that category of the hardest punchers ever at the heavyweight division in boxing, period. This isn't just a situation where it's just like, well, all heavyweights have heavy hands. Yes, they do, but they all ain't got this shit, though. This is what they don't got. You know what I mean? I've seen Lennox Lewis. I've seen Riddick Bowe. I've seen the hardest hitters, man. I've seen the Klitschko brothers. You got to put him in there, man. This isn't just your fly-by-night, everybody at the heavyweight division has heavy hands type of right hand. This is special. But Mr. Boxing, it was against Eric Molina. This is special. But Mr. Boxing, it was only against Artur Spilka. This is special. Mr. Boxing, it was just Luis Ortiz. This is special. Let me see here. Unbiased heavyweight rankings and news says I think Usyk versus Rivas or Ortiz is a good matchup. I agree. H. Khan says Wilder KOs Usyk in 3 rounds if he's aggressive, or KO or 6 rounds if he runs a little bit. Y'all forget Wilder won a bronze medal in the Olympics against all styles. Usyk will lose against Ortiz, Ruiz, etc. Yeah, people do forget that Wilder did get a bronze medal, you know what I mean? And I think what's even more crazy about that medal is the dude just had literally picked up boxing a little bit before that, you know what I mean? Like a year or two before that or something like that, man. So I always bring that up, man, you know. So you know who I wouldn't mind seeing Wilder fight? And I brought this up before, and the guy's actually rated in the top 15, I think, of the WBO. But the guy who he got stopped against in the amateurs, Evgeny Romanov. Um, Now, I'm okay. Let me, because I know somebody will come to this and say, "What? You want to see him duck Ruiz?" And what I'm saying is this: I want to see undisputed. I want to see him fight a plethora of other guys before this guy. But I'm just saying, if it's a situation where all the other guys have fights coming up, or they just came off a fight, when Wilder's trying to schedule his next fight, or something like that, to where he's fighting a guy that's in the top 15 of the WBC. If Evgeny Romanov can move up the top 15 of the WBC, I wouldn't mind seeing him and Wilder fight in a voluntary type defense. All right. Do I want to see him fight first? No. All right. No, I don't want to see him fight him first out of everybody. I'm just saying, if it came up, if it was a Johan Duipa situation or a somebody like that, I wouldn't mind seeing him, because there's a backstory there. He did stop Wilder. He did come forward and pressure him, and he was able to evade the right hand against that 2008 version, or whenever they fought, 2007 version of Deontay Wilder. Yes, I know it's a whole different Deontay Wilder. I would just like to see it because of the backstory. Romanov likes to come forward. He's undefeated, and he's rated in the top 15 based off that. Yes, H. Khan, I totally agree, bro. Unbiased heavyweight rankings and news says Herkovic versus Molina. I'm hearing, is it confirmed? Thoughts? Ooh, I don't know if it's confirmed, bro, but I would like to see that one. I would pick Herkovic in that fight. Um, Herkovic's the guy that's rated in the WBC. I know him and Wilder has sparred before. I actually have image up on my page on my in the community section of that. I would have loved to see that footage of. And there's actually like a minute worth of. I'm sorry, there's like a minute's worth of footage on the YouTube of Herkovic sparring Wilder. You guys know how I feel about Herkovic. Him like Usyk. 2015 was a year when I was coming up with these videos. It's just funny to see how it's all transpiring now. But Herkovic and Usyk were two guys that I was talking about in 2015. And Herkovic was an amateur at the time, and Usyk was at cruiserweight at the time. But these are two guys that I was talking about. Once they get to the heavyweight division, I think they'll make noise. Herkovic is still a guy I still have the same thoughts about him. Um, he really fights like Vitaly Klitschko, in my opinion. He really comes out that Klitschko-esque type of style. He spent a lot of time in Klitschko camps, and Klitschko's a guy he's looked up to. But you know what, unbiased, who I would like to see Herkovic fight, though, really, man? I want to see him and Petar Malas fight. Two Croatian undefeated guys. Malas has beat Kevin Johnson. He's undefeated. He actually beat Francisco Pianata as well, undefeated. And I think they're both under the age of 24, 25. So I would love to see them fight, man. Two Croatian undefeated guys fighting each other. I would love to see that. And Malas has actually said in an interview I seen that was translated, uh, he said that he would want to fight Herkovic one day. So I'd love to see that. But as far as him and Molina, I'll pick Herkovic, but I do not know if it's confirmed yet, bro. Utundi Kilji says you're underestimating Usyk's skills. Whenever Usyk throws a punch, he immediately pivots away and throws punches from off angles. Wilder will constantly fall off balance and look helpless in spots. Well, Utundi, I disagree with you saying that I underestimating his skills. How can I underestimate his skills when in 2015 I said he'll move up to heavyweight and beat some of the top heavyweights? Now, as far as his skill set in the ring, I've also seen him get hit, Utunde. Look, he's not Pernell Whitaker, bruh. He's not Floyd Mayweather, where it literally looks like this dude's not getting hit a lot. He does get touched up, man. Michael Hunter was touching him up. Yes, I know he pivots off. He makes you miss. He likes to roll and dunk under shots. but I've also seen him put the high guard up and absorb punches before, bro. And I've also seen Deontay Wilder be on balance a lot in fights, although he is off balance. But I've seen him be both. I've seen him be patient. The first Laverne fight, I've seen him patient. Yes, I've seen Wilder get wild. I've seen him get wild in the Spilka fight. I think it was the third or fourth round where he threw two right hands in a row, and literally, Wilder literally threw the right hand and brung his right foot with him to where his right foot was his lead foot after he got done throwing the punch. He threw it two times in a row, and I was sitting there looking like, oh my God, if Spilka knew better, he would have countered him. You dig what I'm saying? Um, Now with Fury to me can stand flat-footed and make you miss by bending at the waist. Usyk isn't really a bend at the waist guy. He's a mover. He's a move. He does bend at the waist, but he likes to move and pivot. So yeah, I'm not gonna say he does bend at the waist. He does, but he likes to move and pivot. But you're making it seem like Wilder's gonna get in there and just swing at air all night. And let's say that is the case. But what you're underestimating is when Wilder glove touches people's face, they go to sleep. I don't think you're really understanding that, bro. You can sit here and go with that angle with the helplessly off balance and all that. Okay, fine. But what happens when that right glove touches his face? Respond to that, bro. I just want to hear what you think of that part. What happens when that right glove of Wilder touches Usyk's face? And how will Usyk deal with that snapping jab? Especially if Wilder is snapping, and Wilder has different variations of his jab. Sometimes he likes to snap it fast. Sometimes he'll probe. Sometimes he'll use it as he'll use it as a weapon to knock down your lead hand, to come behind it with the right hand. I think you're underestimating Wilder, bro. To be honest with you. Now I gave you all the good about Usyk, and there's a lot of good there, and the fact that he isn't this type of huge puncher. I don't think he's going to discourage Wilder. I think you're underestimating Wilder in this, bro. To be honest with you, but we can agree to disagree. It's all good. But the best thing for this is just have them fight, and all the questions will be answered. Just waiting to hear his response to if one of Wilder's, if his right hand, if that right glove touches his face, what's going to happen to Usyk? Or what do you think? I just want to see what he's going to say. Oh, nothing? We don't have nothing? Or maybe you're just getting a response together. But I want to hear what you have to say. And yeah, you can immediately pivot and all this, but when you start getting, okay, when he gets in the continuity of getting hit and touched up by Wilder, will he still be able to immediately pivot? You're not taking into consideration once these punches start to land, what toll they're going to take on him. Nothing? You're going? I'm just fucking with you, man. But come on, man. I'll give you a minute or two. Maybe you're getting a response together though. But let me see. Ernest Terry says it's still not an ironclad rule. Facts. Uh, Jabs and Stiff says 100% of Wilder's opponents touch canvas. What does Usyk do different from everyone else that will make him the first person to not taste the canvas? Uh, Aaron Stinson says crickets. Unbiased heavyweight rankings and news says he out. Roughhouse Boxing TV says wouldn't mind seeing Usyk fight Michael Hunter next as an intro into the WC top 15. I'll definitely be a better test than Deacon Witherspoon. Yeah, and it'd be a rematch too. And I think Hunter, man, has gained some confidence. He's fought Bakoli Alunga. He's fought, Ustinov and Maldonado, and he's fought some guys at heavyweight. All right, I'm back. But he's a tough journeyman type of guy. You know what I mean? But where is he at though, man? Come on, you tuned in? Okay, here he is. I'm gonna get to you in 1 second. He's here. He says, okay, hold on. James Dagg says, Mr. Boxing, you agree to disagree game is next is next level good. But yeah, Roughhouse, that'd be I could have swore I gave Roughhouse a wrench, man. Yo, I'm giving y'all wrenches, man, and YouTube is like taking them away that fast, man. All All right, so let me get what he had to say. Utundi says Stavern went the whole 12 rounds in the first Wilder fight. Wilder is a tremendous puncher, but every puncher need to plant their feet for an effective strike. Well, bro, see again, you're trying to have it both ways. First, you just told me that he's always off balance, so he doesn't need to have his feet set all the time to knock you out, or does he? You're confusing me with that. All right, but I know what you're trying to say. Yeah, Stavern went 12 with him, but he also had a fucking concussion, and he was dehydrated and lumped the fuck up and hasn't looked the same since that first fight. Then he fought him a second time and went to sleep in the first round. He did get knocked down, but he tackled Wilder and they didn't count it as a knockdown. He was fucked up on the inside, bro. His face looked like a pumpkin and he had to go to the hospital. Now you may say, Mr. Boxing, they all got to go to the hospital after the fight. Yeah, but because he got fucked up in that fight. You dig what I'm saying? And yeah, and who's to say that Usyk can just, and another thing that Stavern was doing is he was putting up the high guard, bracing himself for every shot that Wilder threw. That's what got him in trouble in the second fight because he thought that I'm just gonna, bite down on my mouthpiece and put my high guard up and tense up real hard, and when you hit me, it's not gonna affect me. And he went to sleep. Usyk is much more. That's not his thing. He's gonna be trying to move and stick and move and things like that. So yes, Stavern was able to do it, but if you want to put your money on one guy out of 41 fights, making it 12 rounds with him, well, second guy because Fury was able to do it. But listen to what I'm saying. All these guys didn't go unscathed. So let's not pretend like, oh, he went 12 with him, like it was just some easy breezy. He went 12 with him. No, physical harm was done to him, bro. And Tyson Fury admitted that he was knocked unconscious. The only reason why he woke up because the ref was over him shouting out 4, 5, before he got up. And he was on his ass twice in that fight. So if you're basing it off that, good luck. Good luck, bro. If that's your logic on that one, good luck. But I like Usyk, man. So I don't want nobody to come to this or have you thinking that I don't like Usyk. I just don't think he can beat Wilder. So let's not, just want to put that out there, man, because this is why I say sometimes YouTube is weird sometimes. I'm not saying you, man. I'm just saying YouTube can be weird because people think, oh, you're hating on such and such. And it's like, where were you 4 years ago when I said that Usyk will move up to heavyweight and make some noise? I just don't think he can beat Deontay Wilder. That's all I'm saying. But if you do, hey, man, they'll get in the ring and we'll see. But my money is on Wilder, putting him to sleep. Boxing Conversations with Reggie Owens was good, bro. Y'all go subscribe to my man, Reggie, man. Very good, informative channel. All right, y'all. H. Khan says 12 with Wilder is an out-of-body experience. Yeah, that shit's rare, man. That's rare. If anybody just basing off, well, Stavern was able to, yeah, and he also went to the hospital after the fight. You know what I mean? Well, Tyson Fury was able to, yeah, but he tasted the canvas twice, viciously, and to his own admission, woke up only because the ref was shouting at him. That's what you're going to base it off of? Good luck. Good luck. But hey, man, I like the fact that Usyk as a heavyweight is going to create more discussion, more topics. It's going to create more discussion, more topics. You got a guy that was undisputed at cruiserweight moving up, man. So it should make for some entertaining, interesting Saturday nights, man. So that's all I got to say. Y'all be easy, man. Till next time, I'm gone.